Welcome once again to another edition of Let's Play WWE 2015. And now, my friends, we are less than a week away from the final stop on the road to WrestleMania. That is WWE Fastlane. And this is the final Smackdown before Fastlane, and without further delay or ado, let's get to the final, the go-home show before Fastlane. And before we see the contract signing between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, which will headline this Sunday's pay-per-view. But I will get to that at the end of this episode of SmackDown. For now, let's kick it off with a highlight package displaying the events of the recent issues between the Wyatt family, Daniel Bryan, Kane, and MVP. And then we move to the next segment, which is John Cena building up, running down Kevin Owens about how since Kevin has came to the WWE, he's had expectations built on his career from what he accomplished before WWE. His first match, his first pay-per-view match, his pay-per-view debut, he beat John Cena. But just like anybody else, especially somebody with big expectations like yourself, KO, you have critics, and your critics say it was a lucky one. And that's where we got to match number 2. And that's why tonight I tell you, Kevin Owens, that this Sunday on pay-per-view you will be one-on-one with the face that runs the place. And this win, much like last month, will be one of the first things that isn't handed to you. Before John Cena can get too into his promo, Cena's interrupted by Zack Ryder of all people, and Zack is saying, "Cena, you want to say that Kevin has been handed things? You want to say that Kevin Owens hasn't earned things? Have you looked in the mirror? You want to say Kevin Owens is selfish? Have you looked in the mirror? You traded our friendship for your own selfish gain. You made me look like a fool to make yourself look like $1,000,000. And what have we gained? You gained what? 2 extra world titles? I gained nothing. I lost everything I had because of you. Because of you, Cena. And now I stand in the ring with you, and these people look at me like I'm a joke. These people don't take me seriously standing in the ring with you. I don't blame myself. I blame you. I don't blame Kane. I blame you. It's all on you, Cena. You cost me my career. Now I'm gonna cost you your redemption. Because when I'm done with you tonight, there'll be nothing but pieces left of you for Kevin Owens to pick up and do with what he pleases this Sunday at Fastlane, and I promise you that, Cena. But that match happens later tonight. We gotta get through the rest of the show before we get to that match. And we kick off tonight's show with Ambrose versus Carlito, as Ambrose is in his tune-up match for his match this Sunday against The Miz for the WWE Intercontinental title. And speaking of The Miz, following his match with Carlito, he meets up with Renee Young at ringside, and Renee asks Dean, what is the likelihood you walk out of Fastlane with the WWE Intercontinental title, and also with the expectation that Alex Riley will be with The Miz at ringside? How likely is it for you to think that Alex is going to get involved, and how are you going to handle that if he does? Look, Renee, there's no doubt in my mind that I will walk in to WWE Fastlane and leave Fastlane with the WWE Intercontinental title. Just like there's no doubt in my mind that Alex Riley will get involved this Sunday. All I gotta say about that is, if Riley wants to get involved, I never had a problem with beating people up. Riley will be no different. Now we head backstage in the Authority's locker room, and the Authority is just praising Seth Rollins and asking Seth, what's next? What's next? He ended the career of Randy Orton. He sent Kane into a feud with the Wyatts. What's next for Seth Rollins? What's next for the undisputed future of the WWE? What's next? It's not like we were going to get the answer to the question. They were just asking and celebrating the fact that things seem to be going very well for the Authority right now, as we head back to ringside and we see Mickie James coming down for commentary on the next match, to do commentary on the next match. And the next match is Natalya versus Rosa, and I'm going to tell you this right now. As far as Rosa Mendes goes, this is the last time you will see Rosa in the ring on Raw, Smackdown, or in the WWE in general, because the fact that she can't even do good with Natalya tells me that Rosa doesn't have the talent to be an in-ring competitor. And I'm not just talking about in the game, but I'm trying to be nice, so I'm just gonna say in game, since I have control. I'm not gonna release her. I just don't know what I'll do with Rosa. All I'm gonna say is this: Mickie James and Natalya have the stare down, with Natalya saying she wants her title back, doing the motion around her waist. She wants the title back around her waist, and all Mickie James does is hold up the title and stare at Natalya, as they will be a part of the Fatal 4-Way this Sunday, live on pay-per-view, and live only on the WWE Network, as Mickie James, Natalya, AJ, and Paige will collide in a Fatal 4-Way for the WWE Divas Championship. And now, the moment that people have been waiting for, and that is the Wyatt's explanation. Much like every other time, this time will be no different. Bray gets free range with the promo. And yes, you hear a little bit from Harper and Rowan, but Bray takes most of the promo time and he does not say yes, and he does not say no, that it was the Wyatts behind the attack of Brie a few weeks ago on Raw. But he does say this, that Daniel Bryan and Kane better know what they're doing, because Wyatt is always one step ahead. Now we head back to the announce booth where Scott Hudson and his cohorts put up with the fact that we will see John Cena versus Zack Ryder later tonight, as it seems like, even though it was years ago when it happened, the unrequited emotions from Zack Ryder have finally boiled over. And Zack will try and get some form of revenge here tonight on Smackdown. Now we head to the second of two fatal four-ways involving the teams in the Four Corners match for the tag team titles on Sunday. It's Tyson Kidd, Stardust, Jey Uso, and Victor. After we just saw Goldust, Cesaro, Jimmy, and Connor in a four-way on Raw, which was won by Goldust. But now, this match was won by Tyson Kidd. Stardust actually looked like he was going to win, but then his brother got involved and accidentally hit Stardust, which actually led to Tyson Kidd getting the win via the sharpshooter on Jey. As we head to the title defense on Sunday. This segment is definitely self-explanatory. After the match, arguing ensues between Stardust and Goldust, and Goldust seems extremely tense, and he basically tells Stardust that he's going to walk away from this argument before he says something, before either of them say something that one of them may regret. Now we head backstage with Renee Young standing by with the face that runs the place, John Cena. And Renee asks, with the obvious anger behind Zack Ryder's promo earlier tonight, how focused are you on Zack? And how focused can you be on Zack, knowing that you're going one-on-one with Kevin Owens in less than a week, in 4 days at WWE Fastlane? I don't know where this is coming from, Renee. I guess Zack suddenly changed his attitude, and I guess he feels as though I deserve some of the anger, some of his new attitude, and he wants to try and make an impact. He isn't the first person to try and make an impact on me, or using my name, trying to get a win over me to make themselves more famous. Kevin Owens did the same thing, only Kevin Owens won. But he won't win this Sunday. And Kevin, I hope you're watching, because you watch, this will be a taste of what you get on Sunday. What is becoming a normal thing, the random mid-card match to, I guess, expend time as Jack Swagger goes up against Damian Sandow, and Swagger gets the win, which leads into Swagger's promo about what's been going on between him, Ryback, and Zeb Coulter. And Swagger just says, As you all know, I never was very good at using this, as he points to the microphone. That's why I finally found my footing when Zeb Coulter joined my side and we became the Real Americans. But like everything else, things change. Once Zeb disappeared, so did my footing. I was lost. But when I came out here a couple weeks ago, I found out that even without Zeb, I still have each and every one of you. And that's why I turned down Zeb's offer for him to be my manager again. I just didn't know that Zeb had found his own replacement for me in Ryback. Zeb, I viewed you as a mentor. Now I view you as a gutless coward. Because if you were the man that all of us think you are, then you would be able to come out here and face me. But I know that ain't possible. So what I want from you, Zeb, is for you to come face to face with me this Sunday at Fastlane. No Ryback, just me and you. Let's talk it out like men. Let's talk it out like we used to. And maybe, just maybe, you can teach me just one more lesson. We come back from a commercial break, and Samoa Joe's music starts to play, and Joe walks out to the ring, and Joe says, all I've been hearing is people saying that I have the highest of high in expectation because of who my first high profile match in this company is going to be against. I've had plenty of high profile matches in my career. I carried a company on my back for a year. And then I finally started getting noticed. That was 10 years ago. It took WWE 10 years to take notice of Samoa Joe. At Fastlane, I don't have high expectations. I have the same expectations that I've always had, and those expectations are to show each and every one of you and those delusional people in the WWE office what they've been missing for the last decade and what everybody else has already known. That when I have my mind set on something, I'm the most dangerous man in the ring. Joe gets interrupted by Adam Pearce, and things it doesn't take that long for things to disintegrate into chaos and an actually impromptu match which sees Samoa Joe pretty easily send packing the veteran Adam Pearce as Joe gets ready for his match this Sunday against Chris Jericho. And now we move forward as Rhino and Rob Van Dam, speaking of a tune-up match, speaking of getting ready for their match this Sunday. It is ECW, Rob Van Dam, Rhino, and Tommy Dreamer versus Sheamus, Bad News Barrett, and Rusev in a 6-man tag team match this Sunday on pay-per-view. Well, let me put it this way. Yes, I keep saying this Sunday on pay-per-view, but it's not like the WWE pay-per-views are only on the network. They're also still on pay-per-view. Especially now in February of 2015. Now, there may be few and far between, if any, that still exist as far as WWE pay-per-views go, but at this point, WWE pay-per-views were still on pay-per-view providers and not just on the network. So, there you go. It's mostly Rob who does the talking about his problems since he returned between him and Rusev, and how Rusev has been a thorn in his side since he returned, just like he's been a thorn in Rusev's side, and now all of a sudden Rusev has help, but Rusev may have help, but Rob has brothers. And then Rhino finishes off the promo by saying, "I don't know which one of you will, but one of you on Sunday will feel the gore, gore, gore." And this doesn't bode well for Lucky Cannon and Bull Dempsey, as both men feel how ready Rob and Rhino are for this Sunday at Fastlane. And now we slide backstage once again as Triple H is backstage once more with Seth Rollins, and this time Hunter tells Seth that they need to do something, that if Seth is serious about what he said on Raw, then Hunter has an idea of what they could do this Sunday at Fastlane to really put the final nail in the career of Randy Orton. And now we move forward. I kind of expected this match to get a little bit better, but what are you going to do? The reason why this counted for the feud is because I think I may have accidentally put Zack Ryder in the feud. I don't know why. But like I just said, I expected this match to get a little better. Unfortunately, it didn't. But either way, the final segment you see is Kevin Owens coming out because all we've heard is from John Cena tonight. And now Kevin Owens comes out and there's a heated confrontation. You can feel the tension, but things turn from heated to chaotic as they eventually come to blows. But security swarms the ring, and security is keeping splits Kevin Owens and Cena apart as the show goes to black, and you hear Scott Hudson say, "If this is how tonight ends, can you imagine what we'll see this Sunday at Fastlane?" Oh, crap. Unfortunately, I saw how poor the rating was and what we got from the rating, and unfortunately we lost popularity in 21 regions from getting a 68 for Smackdown. I learned my lesson. Don't make Zack Ryder main event, and if you are, maybe don't put him against John Cena, but what are you gonna do? That's the problem with shows like this. I'm not since the beginning of Raw last week, on Monday, I've tuned out I'm ready for Fastlane. I'm excited for the pay-per-view. I think it's going to be really good. To go over the card one more time, you will see... I will actually pull up the card right now. The card is... You will see a fatal 4-way for the WWE Divas Championship as AJ, Paige, Natalya, and Mickey will collide for the WWE Divas title. You will also see Ambrose versus Miz for the Intercontinental title, a 4 corners match for the WWE Tag Team titles, the Dust Brothers, Cesaro and Kid, the Usos and the Ascension for the WWE Tag Team titles. Match number 2 between Cena and Owens. Can Cena get the win back against the upstart from NXT? Or will Kevin Owens get lucky once again? This match was originally supposed to be a handicap match, but then became a 6-man tag with the addition of MVP. This match isn't going to happen, but the feud did start on Monday with the attack of Kurt Angle by Ken Shamrock and the shocking return of the world's most dangerous man. Speaking of a 6-man tag team match, the League of Nations will collide in a 6-man tag against Rusev's longtime rival Rob Van Dam and his brothers, as Rob called them, Rhino and Tommy Dreamer. And also, the match that will be the thing that will be headlining Fastlane this Sunday is the contract signing for WrestleMania between Triple H and between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. And also, though the match never was made official on television, I'm telling you right now, Tyler Breeze versus Dolph Ziggler will happen this Sunday, live on the WWE Network at Fastlane. The feud comes to a head this Sunday at Fastlane. So, without further ado, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, leave a like or subscribe to the channel for more content just like this that you can only find right here at Wrestling Express. I'll see you at Fastlane. Later.